March 1st, and we are kicking off our fast. We are going to be doing, as a community, a doubt, unbelief, and negativity fast. Now, I want to know who is doing this. Yeah. Who's joining our community. I know all of our CAP moms are fasting. I know the Kingdom Mother Society is fasting. Are you fasting with us? We're doing a community fast for the next 30 days, and we are going to be fasting as a community, doubt, unbelief, and negativity. Now, if God can put something else on your heart and he's like, no, you are going to be fasting this, you do what God says. But if you just are going to join us corporately, then that's what we're doing together. And so we're going to have some accountability calls, some check-in calls. And this is just a quick jump on and be like, hey, it's the start of the fast. Woo, 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 woo. Fasting sometimes can have like a somber, a negative, like, oh, I'm fasting, right? But actually, fasting is to bring us closer to the Lord. I talked all about this on our Monday, the invitation that I extended to you about starting the fast with us today. And we talked about all the different reasons why we fast. But guess what? Heaven is a culture of celebration. And so how can we bring joy into our fast instead of it being this thing? God is a God of joy, and that is a foundation. The pillar of a kingdom life is joy. And so how can we do this with joy? Because we are removing something from our lives. But how do we fill it? Because in the kingdom, with things with God, we don't empty ourselves, and we actually fill ourselves with him and his good things. And then it displaces all these lies and these negative things. So if you want, so we will be fasting from unbelief, negativity, and doubt. However, you can think of it as really what we're going to be doing for the next 30 days is filling ourselves with belief. That's what we're doing. We're filling ourselves with the belief and the faith that what God is saying is truer than what my circumstances look like. So it is walking forward in faith, like massive faith, saying, okay, no, God said this. So that's what I'm choosing to believe, even if it doesn't look like it yet in the natural. And I had this situation happen with me. It was a few years ago. I was working with a functional medicine doctor. I had removed almost all foods from my diet. I was on a super healing protocol for a year. I was not seeing results. And he thought by this date, I'm sure that we'll see that your blood test will show that you're healed. And they didn't. And I could not have been more perfect in how I did all of my protocol, my supplements, my food removal, my diet restrictions, all that. Like I did that to a T, and it didn't work. And I still fully believe in the power of food and nutrition, and that God gave that as a gift, and that the leaves of the trees are for the healings of the nations. And like, I believe all that. I really do. I'm like a nutritional nerd, but God had me walk through this process because I had faith in my performance of doing this thing this right way, and I would see these results. And it didn't happen. And so I went into this like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? What's going to happen to me? Why is this happening? Like, why am I sick like this? Why, all these things. And why, like, then how am I going to get healed? Like, right? Then how am I going to get healed? And then, so I went into like a kind of a spiral. And one day God tells me, no, you're healed. And I love to argue with God. I'm like, no, I'm not. Would you like to see my test results, Lord? And how can you say that, Lord, when I'm not seeing that in the natural? How can you say I'm healed? And so I went through months of this this battle. And he actually had me do a doubt and unbelief fast and to believe him that I was healed. And he kept saying, you need to believe me that what I'm saying is true before you see it in the natural. And you need to start aligning with that. And then probably a couple weeks, maybe a month in, he tells me to start eating everything. And the fear that induced in me was crazy because I had just stripped my diet of anything that was like remotely unhealthy. And I'd been eating that way for a year or over a year. And I was going, Lord, I do not want to undo all this work that I just did. Like I have been so consistent. I have had so much self-control. I don't want to undo all this work and just go out on a binge, if I'm not hearing you right. And so this also took faith and belief for me to actually abandon my healing protocol and just eat normal. And that may seem like to some of you like, oh, totally easy. But this showed where my faith was, that I was not eating healthy foods because I believed they were healthy for me. I was avoiding anything that I thought was unhealthy out of fear. Fear was my motivation, fear of what it would do to me. And so God had to break me in this area. And so I started eating everything and I was believing that I was healed, even though that it didn't see it in the natural. And I had to walk through this for months, believing that I was healed because that's what God said. And that was higher than anything else that anyone else was saying or any tests were happening or anything else that was going on this earth, anything that it looked like on this earth in the natural. And so then I had an amazing, miraculous healing experience and finally went and got tested again. I was like, no, I'm not going to have fear. I totally did have a little bit of fear in there going like, oh, but what if, like I believed you did this thing, Lord. I know that you healed me, but what if it doesn't say so on the test? And guess what though? It did. Finally, my test showed that I was healed. And so I had to contend and I had to choose to believe what I didn't yet see. And so I believe in the amazing power of a doubt and unbelief fast. So I want to bring that opportunity to you. And so I hope you join me. I hope you join me and this whole community of kingdom mothers believing in the miracle powers of the Lord. And so I would love for you to put in the Facebook group, what are you fasting? Are you joining us? Are you choosing doubt? Are you choosing unbelief? Are you choosing negativity? Or are you going to do all three? What is your thing? What's your stronghold that needs to be broken? And we need to put God above that. And then what are you contending for? If you're contending for something, we don't have to be. We do not have to be. We can be like, hey, Lord, I'm just doing this. I want to fill my life with you. I just lay it down. I am making a sacrifice. Or is it like, hey, I need to see healing. I need to see breakthrough in this area. Like I need to see this and I'm contending for that, Lord. And so, like, what is it? And what is he asking you to do? Please share with us, please, please, please. And then I'll be posting a Zoom link for a check-in call that you can pop on with me and we can share, we can encourage each other, we can share our struggles. I'm not perfect in my fasts, just so you know. I am not perfect, but that's not what it's about. We saw how in this story, my performance with perfection with my diet, and I'm not even going to explain to you the stringency and the strictness of this diet. That's not what healed me, right? God is. And so I just urge you, like, what is he saying in your life that you need to believe, right? What is he doing that you need to believe before you see it yet, before you see it in the natural? Where are you not believing something that he already told you, right? So share your process with us in the chat. Share what you're doing this month. And I'm here to encourage you, to support you, to do this with you. And I already this morning was seeking the Lord. Lord, where am I not believing you right now? What are we doing for this next month? I'm super excited. And also, set your alarm. Set your alarm to pray with us every day at 3:00 Pacific, 4:00 Mountain, 5:00 Central, 6:00 Eastern time, 2:00 Alaskan time, Nicole. And we are going to be praying together. Just a quick prayer. Is it prayer for strength in your fast? Is it prayer for whatever you're contending for? Is it just, hey, Lord, thank you for today. Thank you for today. Thank you for, ask your kids, what do they want to pray for, and pray with you. And I really urge you, like I shared on Monday, get your kids involved. If they don't want to do the fast with you, I asked mine, they're doing it with me. If they don't want to do it with you, ask them to be your accountability so that they can watch you be obedient to the Lord, to sacrifice to the Lord, to put him first, to believe what he says. Let your kids in on it. Let them watch you. And then they will get a grid for this as they get older. Let them say, hey, mommy's working on not being negative. If you hear me say something that is not positive, you get to call me out. Here's my code word, whatever it is. Fast, mom, you're fast, or whatever. Here's how you can keep me accountable, and share with them a way that they can nicely keep you accountable instead of just yelling at you, right? Like, here's how I'd like to hear it. If you catch me saying being negative, you can say, Mom, then something nice, whatever. So, but let them be your accountability partners. Let them in on the process. So, so, so powerful. So powerful. And they'll love it. They'll absolutely love it. So, yay! Here's our check-in. Check-in call. Get going. Pray with us every day. Set your alarm. And then check in on the Facebook group. We're going to be like checking in. Hey, how are we doing? Are you successful? Did you fail today? It's okay. We're going to be encouraging each other, and tell us when God gives you breakthrough, when you see a miracle, whatever happens, share it. We are saved by the word. What is it? By the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. Okay. Testimonies means do it again, Lord. So when we share our testimony, we are releasing that to everyone else who's going to hear your testimony and asking God to do it again. Do it again, because he will. He's not a respecter of persons, right? So, okay, I am so excited to do this with you guys. Congratulations for joining. Happy day one. If you're seeing this a couple days later, it's not too late. Just jump right on in. No problem. Okay. I will check in with you on Monday. I hopefully have a friend who's going to be popping on and sharing some of her wins, because I went to lunch with her today, and she is a true kingdom mama. She is one of my iron that we sharpen each other, where each other's iron sharpen iron. And so she was saying something, and I'm like, you need to join my fast. You need to join me in the fast. And so she's like, I'm going to. I'm like, you need to come on and share with my moms, how it's going for you. So hopefully I'll be able to have her pop on with me one day and check in. And she's so amazing. So you'll love it. You'll love it. And so we'll be checking in. We'll be still checking in on our Mondays. And yeah, we're going to do this all the way till Easter. Easter will break our fast, and on Resurrection Sunday. So amazing. So amazing. So I just think it's amazing. Okay. And then also one more question. Do you celebrate Lent, and how do you do it? We do. We are late this year. Always start or on time, but we had so much that we couldn't yet. So I was waiting for a time that was peaceful for our family, that we could launch into Lent. And so I'll give you a little tour of what we do for Lent, because we're going to set it up today. Okay. I will see you Monday. Okay. Happy fasting. Bye.